Hi folks, Jeff from RV Diagnostics. Here we go. We're going to do a little bit of scanner. Now this can be used. That means we're going to scan the transmission and engine signals, inputs. Alright, so just because you have a problem and there's no code doesn't mean you can't use some basic knowledge to do this. Now the first thing you're going to do, there's a couple different ones. There's a hard start when it's cold, and then it starts good when it's cold, but it doesn't start good when it's hot, or it sputters, or it starts good when it's hot, but it doesn't start good when it's cold. So, you know, and there's no codes for that, folks. Unless there's a massive misfire, and Ford ain't good at that because you got to damn near destroy your catalytic converter by the time that happens. And I've already made a video on that. That's the mode 6. But here I'm going to go over some common sense approach. We're going to look at two signals. Do not start your engine. Do not get it hot and let it sit all night or whatever. Whether it doesn't matter if it's a Ford, a Chevy, it doesn't matter if it's a Caterpillar, or it doesn't matter if it's a Cummins or, Max Force. Folks, this works. Here we go. We're going to look at some inputs. The two you're going to worry about is, actually three, but the two main ones is engine coolant temperature and air temperature. And the other one, some of them have a trans temp. Ford sometimes calls theirs engine, or no, head temperature, or something like that. I don't know. They've got all kind of everybody's got a different saying. One, do I know the temperature of my coolant key on engine off after it's set all night? Two, do I compare it to the inlet air temperature? Some are built in. Some are separate. Some is a separate sensor. I think it was Brian Tiplady or somebody. He had some AC work done, and they disconnected one of his sensors, and this code came up, and just basic stuff. If he had a scanner, he could have figured that out himself, figured it out, and moved on. All right. So here we go. I'm going to put you on pause, and I'm going to set up the scanner. It don't matter which one you have, but we're going to look for a couple readings. I'm going to put you on pause right now. Alright, so here we go. I brought up the cylinder head temperature, which is kind of like the coolant temperature on a Ford. And I also brought up the intake air temperature. Now, I would say pushing it past 10 degrees, I have to question myself. Now, the intake air temperature is either a separate sensor in the intake, like from the air filter into the throttle body of the engine. Don't matter if it's gas or diesel. And the other one is in the cylinder head or the coolant temperature sensor, so it's in the cooling system somewhere. If the vehicle has been stabilized overnight, not started up, these temperatures will be within roughly 10 degrees of each other. Now, if you had the thing out in the sun and the intake air temperature was up under that hood and beaming hot, which it is today, let's take a look at what we got. Alright, so cylinder head temperature. All right, there you go. Let's just get it right. Hold on. There we go. Cylinder head temperature, right, in Fahrenheit degrees, is 82. And intake air temperature is 100. All right, so how much is that? You add 8 to that, it's 90. 100. What do you got? You got 18 degrees. So what it was, I had my garage door open, and the hood was getting the sun, if you see it right there, and that hood is kind of hot. All right, so that will falsify. I'm gonna put it on pause and pop the hood, and I'll kind of show you where the intake air temperature sensor is on this V10 Ford. All right, so this one is built into the mass airflow sensor. Some are separate. It'll be like right in this hose here with a separate sensor. It'll kind of look like that one right there, but that's feeding the vacuum sensor there. But here inside is a mass airflow sensor. I had to take this filter all apart. You can look it up on the wiring diagram, but sometimes the IIT is like right here, inlet air temperature. So it is seeing almost I think it was 18-degree difference. See, so that's within specs, folks. Now, that was just to show you some basic test. let's play around, see what the transmission temperature says, okay? So we got it, the cylinder head temperature is 82. You add 8 to that, that's 90, and then 10 more, that's 18 degrees. The intake air temperature is 100. I'll put you on pause, I'll bring the transmission, because it's in a different group. Now, since this is actually in a fluid, it might be a little bit cooler now. You're going to see a difference here, because remember, we're relying on the intake air temperature that was in the sun on that hood. So it changed up our reading a little bit. But remember, our coolant head temperature was 80 degrees. So here we go. There's your intake air temperature, 102. I was trying to bring up the coolant head temperature, didn't let me. Trans fluid temperature, TFT, is 77.7. Folks, that's less than 3 degrees away from the engine temperature. So you say, why am I making this reading, scanner reading and all? Well, one, there's a lot of techs out there that are going to work on your RV and all that, and there's a lot of E and 450s and I don't know, good Lord, 350s that use the V10 engine and even some smaller engines, and this works on everything. Big Cummins diesels, Caterpillar C12s, Cummins ISX, ISL, IC. Oh my God, man, we can just keep on going. So it's not that I'm smart, it's that I've learned some stuff that helped me. One, this data will help you decide, like on a gas engine, if it sees a hotter temperature, as soon as you turn the key on, it says, well, you know what, I'm going to thin that fuel out because it's hot. Or wait a minute, it might see 40 degrees and it's like 90 out, and it's going to make that fuel mixture rich. All right, or you're going to burn more fuel. So those are, and that will not set a code on the coolant temperature sensor. Now, some of them are getting better. I forgot what code. It was a famous one that came out. It'll tell you that the thermostat didn't open up fast enough or it opened too slow. That's a nice code on the newer ones. But remember, we have to compare all the temperature readings to make sure they're within spec once the vehicle has been stabilized. What I mean, the temperatures are the same. I have not started this. It's been in the garage. I did a 4K micro Onan, micro light Onan KY series, but it's a spec R troubleshooting thing right here. I'll make a video on that. So I said, well, why I got this in here? Do this. All right, so thank you very much. This is Jeff from RV Diagnostics. Hope you learned something from this, how to compare the readings. Remember, you can do this on your big diesel RV. You can do this on a gas engine, your Toad. Remember, we're up against trying to find good techs out there to work on our stuff. Now, if you got some data, you can call me if you belong to my website, or you can message me on Facebook Messenger, or on my YouTube channel. You can give me, hey, down here in comments, Jeff, look, I got this problem, and this is the reading I got. If I got time, I'll help you, and most of you know that I respond within 24 hours. Trust me, folks, there's 31,000 on my Facebook page. I don't disclose who's on my website because, nope, Uncle Sugar makes enough money off of me. The other one is the YouTube channel. That's almost 6,000 members. Thank you very much. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and hit next to the subscribe the little bell so you know when I put out new videos. Thank you very much. Jeff from RV Diagnostics.